Well, welcome everybody. So happy to be back with you. So happy to see you this week. It looks like we're getting connected. I was away last week. I was sick and I had, a bad cough and kind of that chest congestion, nasal congestion that was going around. But I'm feeling much better, and I have to thank you for all of the good wishes. There were so many comments about, get better, feel better, all the word. Yeah, thanks very much. Hope you are feeling better. So, thank you everybody for sending those comments. That was very, very, very unexpected and so lovely. But yeah, I was feeling better by the weekend, just in time for the beginning of December, and of course, all that comes with it. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about December Days project and what I've done so far in my December Days album. And I have a few things to share with you, a few ideas. Not everything's done, but we're gonna play along with that today. Oh, thank you, everybody. Oh, I'm glad I'm feeling better too. I tell you, the kids bring it home from school. You get that, nasal congestion, and then it's in your throat, and you can't talk. And I wanted to be with you, but I just couldn't. And so, speaking of me for just a second here, if I haven't met you before, my name's Noreen Smith, and I am the Product Development Creative Manager at Creative Memories. And normally, with the exception of when I'm sick, like last week, normally I get to be with you each and every Wednesday to just have a lot of fun and play with wonderful Creative Memories products and create some fun things, some fun and fast projects. So, oh, thank you, Marilyn. She's saying we so missed you last week. Thank you. I missed seeing you guys as well. There's our friend Kazumi from Japan. Good morning, Japan. Thanks for joining us, Kazumi. And I've seen people from everywhere. So Iowa, we've got Ohio, Florida. There's Diane in Florida. California. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate your well wishes. I tell you, it's so lovely to have a community like this that rallies around and sends out all that love and support. Okay, well, last week when I was planning on doing a fast and fun, I had been planning to talk to you guys about gift options, right? Whether it's for somebody who has a ton of photos and is feeling overwhelmed with all of their printed or even digital photos, someone who wants to get into scrapbooking, a crafty friend. We had lots of different ideas. And so instead of showing you some of those things, I wrote them down and we shared them in a blog post. So if you haven't seen that, you do want to go back to the blog post from November 29th and get some of those great ideas. Of course, the ideas are even more so this week because we've got our Who Let the Gnomes Out promo going on with lots and lots of last chance and discounted items. So you'll definitely be able to pick up some great little stocking stuffers and ideas for all of your crafty friends and family and people that you want to share creative memories with, you want to share legacy memory keeping with. So make sure you check that out, as well as the promo that's up right now and all of the other items, of course. Now, you'll also want to check not the due dates, the shipping dates, the shipping deadlines. I believe, and you'll want to check your website for the up to the minute, deadlines. But I believe December 10th for Canada and Australia, December 12th for the US. So double check that. So that means you still have a few days. You've got until the weekend to do any shopping that you need before Christmas. So you can make sure you have it in time for Christmas. And also this weekend, don't forget that we've got our final virtual crop of the year. We've had so much fun with virtual crops this year. We can't wait to wrap it up with one more Friday, December 8th, this Friday, 5 p.m. Central Time. We will have 4 new sketches for you and, of course, some inspiration and 4 chances to win. So you'll definitely want to put that on your agenda for this weekend. You'll also maybe want to do some of these December Days projects that I'm going to be sharing with you this weekend. This weekend, actually, my family and we're heading out to Banff. So I won't be online with you, but I'll be looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with for the virtual crop. Okay, so I think that kind of covers all of my little housekeeping things. Let's get into December days because we're into the first week. How many of you have started a December days album, maybe have a couple of things done? Hands up or thumbs up. I've got a few pages in mine done, and I want to share those with you, but I also have a few pages that are just kind of in progress. So I'll talk about those, and I thought that it would be worth mentioning those because you'll see me kind of finish them off and keep working on them through the rest of December. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some organization, kind of what I have set up for myself. We talked about that a few weeks ago when we first started thinking about December days. And then I want to show you what I've done so far. And then I'm going to actually give you a couple of techniques or ideas that you might want to incorporate into your albums. Okay, let's see here. Connecticut, Alberta. There's somebody else joining me from Alberta. Somebody's saying we wish the sketches were released earlier in the day. Yeah, we released them at 5 p.m. because that's kind of 5 p.m. Central. That's kind of the kickoff to the virtual crop. And then, of course, you have the weekend to join in. And I believe you have until the Tuesday to get all your sketches done. So watch for those on Friday at 5. Laura from Ottawa and Peggy from West Palm Beach. So welcome everybody. Okay, I'm going to switch you over to my desk and let's see what we've got going on here. You might notice that my background has changed a bit. I had a kind of a wood background here and it was getting so dirty that I decided I just had to take it off. So I've just got my white desktop here. So it might look a little plain, but we'll get a new one soon. All right, so when we started talking about December days, I mentioned that to make it easy on yourself, you want to create, a little basket, a little box, a little area where you can keep all of your December days products so that you can work on your December days project really easily. So this is how I've got mine set up. It's just a power sort box. You could also use a pods insert, right? I don't have one handy here without dumping a bunch of stuff, but whatever works for you. And in it, I have a couple of things. I've got my album that I'm working on. So I'm working in a happy album this year. But I also have my Christmas cheer 8x8 that I was kind of showing you how to put together, as well as last year's December days, because I know I'll be referring to a couple of things in there. So I keep that handy. I do have a power sort compartment. Right now, I don't have much in it because I've actually taken all of the photos that I was printing throughout the week and they are in here now. But it's a great place to keep photos, embellishments, whatever you need. I've got a couple of punches I know I'll be using throughout. So I'm just keeping those in here. The rest are behind me in my storage wall. I have a bunch of Peekaboo Pockets in here. And then although I don't use project folders a lot to store my supplies, I thought it would be really easy to put everything into a Power Project folder for my December days supplies. So I've got a bunch of scraps here that make it super easy to reach for something when I want to make, when I want to punch something small. I don't need to punch a full sheet of paper. I've got my mat cards here, and I actually have 2 packs open because I know I'm going to be using a lot of them in my December days because I'm using the horizontal pocket pages for the most part. I do have all of my little December days date circles. We shared those. Oh, I forgot to put up the link. So I'll have to put up the link to those after, but we shared those. And I told you how our designers had made a PDF for you that you can just simply print out onto some cardstock and then punch out with your circle punch. Okay. Now, I have mine all ready to go, but I have to say I'm not planning on using them on every page this year. Remember last year, I kind of used them as little tabs on the sides of my pages. So that was a lot of fun. I'm just going to do a little bit something different this year. I've got them if I need them, but I don't know for sure how I'm going to use them. Then I've got those beautiful Christmas cheer ornaments. Then I've got my papers inside here. I do have some of the Christmas cheer. I have one package that I'm holding on to like gold, the Christmas cheer accessory pack, which sold out quite quickly. And of course, the rest of my Christmas cheer regular designer paper pack. And then on the back, I've got my stickers. And I also pulled out of storage some of the ABC 123 stickers that I want to use and have already used in my album. So this way everything's together. I've got all my supplies right handy. I don't include cardstock in here because my cardstock is stored, again, just right behind me. You can see it when I'm facing the camera. It's so easy for me to pull out. I don't need to have any extra pieces in here. But if you have a different system, you may want to include your cardstock in there as well. Okay, so let me show you what I've done so far. We've done a little bit of decorating around the house. We went to an event on Sunday, December 3rd, and we've been enjoying a couple of events so far, a couple of times with friends and family. But I thought I wanted to start off my December days with a bit of an intention. I think I mentioned to you that I love doing this type of project because it gives me kind of a crafty outlet. It's a bit of a stress relief, and it's also a way for me to engage and, be really present in the things that we're doing. So this is going to be my title page. Remember that last year I kind of included a little notebook over here. And one of the things I put in my little notebook was a calendar. And I really like this because it gives me at a glance of what we're doing. So I went ahead and I added a 5x7 Peekaboo pocket here. And I created a December 2023 calendar with Canva. And I'm just going to see if I can flip you over here to my computer. Sorry, give me a second. Now that I don't have a mouse pad or a background, it's being a little finicky. There we go. So I have talked about Canva before, but really what I do for something like this is I created a little December days project in Canva, and it's basically a 6x4 canvas. And what I've done, what you can see over here on the left-hand side of my screen, is I've gone ahead and uploaded some of the imagery from the Christmas Cheer digital art. So these are individual JPEGs or PNGs. Here's some of the papers, and that way I can add them to a project. So here I just have one of the papers as a background. You can see how big that would be, that whole sort of big diagonal shape that's highlighted right now. That's the paper. Then I just added a little calendar that you can just search right in here when you're in the Canva workstation, I guess, or workspace. You can just search December 2023 calendar and you'll get a bunch of different options. Let's just do that right now so I can show you what kind of came up. So there's a bunch of different options here that you can choose. I obviously chose one and then went ahead and added it to my page. But then I have all of those other, it's being a little finicky here, sorry. But then, you have lots of things to choose from. So I just created this and printed it out. All right, so let me switch you back here so you can see the actual calendar. Okay, so there's what it looks like. It's already in the pocket, but there's what it looks like after I printed it out. And I just slipped it into one of the pockets along with a mat card here. And then, as I mentioned, I've created a little flap to open with a 5x7. So this is 5x7. And on the inside, I just have a piece of the Christmas cheer paper. And then I chose one of the matte cards. And I decided that I wanted to write sort of my intention for this December Days album, or my intentions for January or December. So I just want to read that to you really quick. My intentions are this December, I want to make room for the joy. I don't want to get bogged down with the details and pressures of trying to make it perfect. I want to enjoy family, friends, and food. So that's kind of my intention. And that's what I hope to kind of refer back to. So here, and again, I don't know if you can see it because of the glare, but I just used some of the silver stickers to write, feel the joy. Okay. Now I do have a fun plan for something that's going to go on the front of this, but that will be for another time. Okay. So that's going to be kind of my title page, and I'll be writing on my calendar throughout the month to remind me what days or what things happened on which day. All right, so that's the first spread. The second spread is a little bit about us decorating the front of our house. And, you know, my journaling just talks about how we've had such mild weather. And the boys and I decided we would go ahead and put the lights up together. We did it when my husband Shane was away. So he came back just at the right time and snapped a picture of us up on the roof putting on the lights. So that was kind of fun. And then I've got just a couple of photos of, the front of the house. But I want to talk about and show you how I made this little light border. So I wonder if any of you kind of recognize it. This kind of looks like a border punch that we had a few years back, but this is actually made with one of the items that's in our last chance right now, the Leafy Vine border punch. So I want to show you really quickly how I created that. I just punched, first of all, just punched it from white cardstock. And then I got out my pens. And remember when I said that one of the things about December Days is that it is a stress relief for me. And I love to color and craft and, do a bunch of fun mixed media things. So this was a fun little sort of project to make this border. Now, the cool thing about working in a happy album is, these strips are 2x6. So if I make a 2x12-inch border with border punches or anything else, I can just cut it in half, and then I've got it to go across my page. So I just wanted to show you really quickly how I did this. I won't do them all, but basically I took my pens, and funnily enough, the red, blue, green, orange, and purple dual tip pens are actually in the last chance promotion as well. So I just opened it up to the large bold tip, and basically I just kind of colored in each of the leaves into kind of a teardrop or light bulb sort of shape. And I just have a piece of scrap paper underneath here so that I can go over the edge and color in, the each sort of bulb and get it completely colored in. So I just sort of made, kind of an executive decision where I'm coloring. But you can see I'm just kind of making that oval sort of shape and just filling it in, just basically outlining and then filling in with strokes. It's not even really coloring. And once I have that done, those are, of course, are the little bulbs. And then I can take my black pen and just color in what would have been the stem. Okay, so we'll just go ahead here. I trimmed off a little bit, just to, I trimmed off this little end piece that would have been kind of a half bulb. But you get the idea. You can trim whatever you need away. Then I'm just coloring in just really light strokes to fill in the rest of the white space. And then finally, I'm taking my silver pen And this time I'm using kind of the fine tip. And then I just add 2 little strokes at the base of each bulb. And that kind of mimics the, the metal coupling, I guess, where it goes into the bulb holders. And then just also like a little dash, if you know what I mean, like a little reflective dash. So I've done this really quickly, but you get the idea here of how you can turn your leafy vine into this fun border of lights. So you might get a bit better look at it there with the little dashes from the silver. So that was fun. I really enjoyed kind of coming up with an option to create some light, because I didn't have anything else that was, kind of along those lines. That is part of the fun for me, is figuring out what I can do, creating something a little bit different. So I really like the way that one came together. Just a note about kind of laying out. These, of course, were taken at night. So I kind of put those in opposite corners, these 2 pictures, so that there was some dark areas in each. And then even though this was taken during the day, and we actually have kind of a neutral beige house, the lighting just made it look kind of blue-gray. So I chose a light blue journal card here to kind of balance that. So, those are just some of the things that help your pages, really kind of stand out and work really well together. Okay, so that was one. And of course, again, just remember that some of our pens and a lot of our punches are in the last chance right now. And actually, I made myself a little list of some of the things that I will be using and that you might want to use for your December days that are already in the last chance and on special. So the silver and gold ABCs, I mentioned that. I've got some of those right there. Joy to the world and seasonal sightings, right? You don't have to use Christmas cheer, the current Christmas collection. Of course, you can use whatever Christmas products you have. So there's lots of Joy to the World, lots of seasonal sightings on sale in the last chance. Another one that is in the last chance that I love and actually stocked up on was the white lined paper. So if you let me just kind of flip ahead here. Inside each of these pages is a little 2x6 card. So you could write your journaling right on there. But if you prefer to have lines to write on, you could just cut out a little 2x6-inch strip of lined paper, slide that in there, and then you've got your lines for journaling. So I love the lined paper. The other thing I was thinking about is that if you have the Canadian Pride, there is a fantastic buffalo check, and of course, lots of red. So that might work for some December days types of products and projects too. All right, what else did I write down? So let's talk about some of our cartridges and things. So I thought that the Home Sweet Home Border Maker cartridge would work really, really well. That's a great one for Christmas and home and decorations. The Snowflake Circle Chain BMC. And another BMC is the Poinsettia Edge BMC. I feel like it's not focusing very well today. There we go. So that's a beautiful one. And I used that one quite a lot last year. Let's see if I can spot a good example of it. Yeah, so right along here, I used the Poinsettia Border Maker cartridge. So again, lots of great things that you might already have in your stash. Some other ones, the Holly Punch, which you saw I already have in my box. It almost fell there, so I grabbed it. The Holly Punch, that's a must-have. That's going to be, something you can use every Christmas from whenever you get it. The Cardinals, oh, so beautiful. The Cardinals Border Punch, again, coordinated so nicely with seasonal sightings from last year. We actually had a paper with the Cardinals in it, but those little birds, those little red Cardinals are, they're part of Christmas, especially their beautiful red color. And so many people love those at Christmas time. Bells and Bows Punch, I do not have, but that's one that's in the last chance that you might want to take advantage of. Craft photo corners. These are something that I use a lot. I love the little bit of neutral color that it brings to a layout. So these are in Last Chance. You might want to grab a couple packs of those. I'm going to show you where I'm going to be using that in just a minute. The Dollop Arch Frame Punch. I'm going to be using this, I think, next week. And this will be a great one. I love the frame punches because not only can you make great borders, but of course, either full-size page frames or photo frames. So that's a good one too. And then, as I mentioned, the pens. So don't forget to grab, your pens. I still have pens from Creative Memories, old Co that I probably bought in 2004, 2005. So definitely the pens last. If you have a set of the colored pens right now, you might want to get yourself another set. Keep them. They are not going to go dry. They are great pens. Okay, back to my album. Let's do the next page. And I think, let me just see. Oh, okay. So here's one of the ones that I've planned ahead for. In the mat cards, there were 2 of these wish list mats. 4x6 mats. So I thought I would have one for each of my sons. I can write down a couple of the things that they actually have on their wish list. And then I've just written a little note to myself that I need to get kind of a nice photo of each of the boys in a horizontal position. And then I can add those in. Now, last year for my wish list page, I actually had all the members of my family kind of give me their wish lists. That one's stuck underneath there. And then I wrote them out on some of that lined paper. And then I used the tag punch behind them. And I just added a little bit of ribbon at the top. And then I put them into this little folder or holder or pocket that I created with a mat card just by kind of attaching it on 3 sides. And I actually cut a slit in the page protector so that I could pull these out. Okay, so that's another idea for wish lists, but I was thrilled to see, excuse me, that there was already a couple of ready to go wish lists right in the mat pack. Okay, the next one is one of the ones I want to show you and share some ideas for. Now, last year, well, I guess I should preface it by saying I love coffee. So, excuse me, last year I made this little kind of insert from a regular 8x8 page. We cut it out and we made this fun little sort of interactive element. So I thought that was great for the 8x8 album. What am I going to do? Something like that for my happy album. So this is what I came up with. I've got a little Starbucks kind of to-go cup here that I created from a page. And that's what I want to share with you right now. Let me grab a blank page. Didn't have that on my table. And this is going to be this layout isn't finished yet because I still have more coffee to drink over the rest of the month here. Maybe I should be drinking some tea. But my son and I, we love coffee. So we always go and we, see what the new flavors are like, what the cups are like. Here, I've got a couple of pictures of Tim Hortons, which is a Canadian chain that we are also fond of up here. And I actually had to add a couple of photos because the front of the cup was very sweet with this little sort of heart. And then on the back side of the cup, it had these little critters, giving presents to each other. And here I really just put the photos. I'll show you the next layout in a minute. But I printed both photos onto one page. And again, I did that in Canva. So let's look at how I did that. Here's the canvas, basically a 6x4 inch canvas. And I uploaded my photos. That's not going to be in there. It's going to be in the upload section. So there's the 2 photos. Now I took these as as horizontal shots. So I cropped them in really close so that I could see the details. And then you can see that each one of these is just an individual photo. And then I just spaced it out onto the 6x4 background. And then what you need to do is just share and download. And that way you can download it to your computer and then you can print it out in whichever way works best for you. I do have a home photo printer, so I use that a lot during December days, so I can print out the photos that I need. But you can, do a week's worth of photos, get them ready, and then send them off to print. So this is still in progress, but let's talk about how I created this fun sort of Starbucks insert. So again, it's on a regular Happy Album page. And for this, look at this. I even went back to Starbucks to get another one of these. That's how much I love you guys. I went back and got another sleeve so I can show you how to do this. But all you need is, your regular page and your oval templates. So these are the oval templates, and I'm going to use the second largest. And I need a pencil as well. Where'd my pencil go? There we go. All right. So what I did is I put the side of the oval along the side of the jeeping because I do want this to be fairly close to the jeeping so that it will stay attached. And then I just kind of used the bottom part, and I kind of eyeballed it. You can play around with it. When you use pencil, of course, you can erase it. But basically, I used this sort of inner oval as my guide. So I just kind of drew a little bit of a curve at the bottom of my page. Okay, so hopefully you can see that little pencil mark. Then I came up to the top. Again, not too close to the top, but again, kept my edge of my oval right at the edge of my jeeping, and then I drew a little bit larger oval. And that's the top of my cup. Okay, so hopefully you can see that's the top and the bottom. And then all we need is a ruler, and we just connect them. And that's going to be our little cup. Now, sorry, my finger's in the way there. Now you can see that that's going to be just the right size to add this on top. So you're going to need your scissors. Let's do this really quick together. Now you can also, I shouldn't say you can also. I did my template for my cup first. Then I kind of traced it onto some paper and cut out the paper. What you could do, of course, is put some paper on top of your page, then create your cup shape. So we've cut out the side. Now I'm just going to go and kind of cut out this top edge. And then right where it kind of is closest to the jeeping, I'm going to cut over and then cut down. All right, so that's how I got that. Here, I'm just going to cut along the bottom edge, cut up a little ways, whatever you think, cut along the jeeping, and then just make a cut across. Not quite as elegant, but there you get the idea. All right, so then I went ahead and traced this outline onto a piece of paper, and then I used the bottom part, same oval, to kind of create the ellipse shape. So that's the inside of the cup. Then what you need to do, if you don't like Starbucks, if you've got another, favorite coffee spot, I just cut my little sleeve apart. My friends in Minnesota, I know you have Caribou coffee, which I enjoy quite a bit. And then you're just going to, once you get your paper on here, you're just going to adhere this. Now it is a bit of a corrugated surface, so you definitely want to use your regular full strength tape runner. Adhere it, so that it looks like it's overlapping the cup a little bit. And then on the back side, same thing. Now, I will always preface this by saying, and I think I would draw a line there as well. So I would just draw a line to kind of mark the edge. Do it with your, a pen, but just kind of draw a line to mark the edge of your cup. Okay. Now, I will preface it by saying, of course, if you do not want to add something like this, ephemera or items that are maybe not photo safe, please don't feel you have to. I'm quite fine with this because it's just kind of an insert. My photos are protected inside the pockets, so I don't have to worry about this little sleeve coming in contact with the photos. So I'm quite fine with it, but of course, don't do anything like that if you are worried. If you are worried, you can go ahead and do something like we did last year and just use, here I used the rectangles. Let me grab them from my wall. Here I used the rectangles to kind of, trace out the handle of the cup, and then circles, I believe. No, I might have used the ovals. No, I think I used the circles. Okay, so the circles were the edge of my little mug there, but the same idea. So you can do whatever works for you, whatever works for your ideas of your December Days album. Now, so some of you might be saying, well, that's kind of silly to put, pictures of coffee cups. This is what brings me joy. Being a coffee lover, being someone who can't wait to see what, Starbucks brings out, or, what flavors Tim's has as their special coffees. I like to document that. And the reason that I love to do that is that I can go back each year and, kind of see. So last year, Starbucks cups were different. And I think I wrote down here, I didn't write down what my favorite flavor was last year. This year, it is definitely, and I made sure to take a picture of it here, it is the caramel brulee latte. So that's my favorite this year. I'll be sure to include that in my little journaling. And I have more coffee to drink. There's Second Cup, and there's, McDonald's. There's a couple other chains that are in the Calgary area that I want to take pictures of. So I'm going to probably add some small pictures to the back of this, and I might even have to add another page. Who knows? My love of coffee runs deep. That brings me joy. So that's why I do those kinds of fun little layouts. The last layout that I have to share with you is just a really simple one. This took me all of about 5 minutes to put into place here. This past weekend, we went to my husband's lodge's wassail, which is just a Christmas party. So they were just being such hams this year, I tell you. Look at the boys next to the Santa. They just were being so silly. So it was just so much fun. All I did here was create a 2-inch by 12-inch border. And here's some of those Christmas Joy borders. Joy to the World. These were some of the laser borders from Joy to the World. So I have a piece of the Christmas Cheer accessory plaid paper, and then just 2 laser borders over top of it. Sliced it down the middle to make 2 6-inch sections, and then I popped them in there. And this is a single MAC card. So remember that some of the MAC cards have, titles and space for journaling. And all I added to this was a little holly there and a holly here. I punched that with my holly punch from some green plaid paper. And I actually used my little mini trio punch, piece by piece mini trio punch. This little circle here is the perfect size for your little holly berries. And that was it. Like I said, 5-minute page, and I'm able to just slide that in, and it's done. So I still have, as I said, a few things to work on. Next week when I join you, I probably will be sharing what I'm doing on the front page, on this front flap of my 5x7 Peekaboo Pocket. I may have some more for my coffee, and then I've got a couple of ideas. I just popped this photo in. We got together with some family. So this is just a picture of the boys with their cousins and grandma. So this page is going to kind of be about friends and family. I'm meeting with my best friend next week, most likely. We're going to see and some other members of our family. So I'll probably make a whole spread of family and things that we're doing with family. So you'll probably see that kind of come together as well. A few of the other pages that I want to work on are, again, more story driven. So remember that I said that last year I used the days circles, and I kind of tried to create a photo or a little spread for each day. Sometimes I didn't have much, sometimes I did. But if something happened on a certain day, I used the date circle. If something, was just a general idea, I used some of the decorative circles. So, Grayson's Christmas concert was on December 9th. So sometimes I might be using something that happens on a specific day, but I think this year I'm really focused on telling stories. And again, that idea of intention. My intention is for this not to be a chore. It's to help bring me joy. It's to help me be engaged and to stay kind of in the moment and not let some of the other things sort of worry me. So if that means drinking a lot of fun flavored coffees, I'm all for it. All right. So yeah, you'll see some more layouts next week. And I have some more fun ideas for interactive ideas for you for your pages. So hopefully, oops, I disappeared. Hopefully you'll see that. One of the stories I actually want to tell has to do with what I'm wearing, because I love plaid. My father is Scottish. He was born in Edinburgh. And, I had a kilt when I was a little girl. And of course, anytime I got dressed up, there would be something plaid, plaid dresses, plaid pants, plaid shoes. I had a little plaid purse that I used to carry around. So my love for plaid runs deep, whether it's plaid papers for scrapbooking or plaid clothes. And December, all the red plaid comes out. So I think I'm going to do a whole little spread about Mad for Plaid and how I love all things that are tartan and plaid and checkered, and why. I think another one will be some of the baking. We love to bake. I'm not the best cook, I have to admit, but we love baking. And we've got some of those traditional, family recipes that come out every year. So I'll be taking some pictures of those. And I think I want to include a couple of recipe cards in there as well. So again, I'm trying to focus a little bit more on some of the stories around the things we do at Christmas time. But if you are taking a photo each day and, adding one of the little December days circles to it, that is a great way to stay on top of what you're doing in December as well. Again, if you haven't had a chance to look online, Pinterest, Instagram, even just Google December daily examples or ideas, you'll see a huge variety, and just let your mind go crazy with it, and you're going to come up with some great ideas for your December days album. Okay. All right, so I am going to sign off. We've been together for about 45 minutes here. I made it through without having a coughing attack, which is great. And like I said, my family and I are heading up to Banff, Alberta for the weekend. So next week, you'll also see a bunch of photos of the family in Banff. And that will be, again, a whole other story, probably a couple of pages in my album. So I'm looking forward to that. Don't forget about the virtual crop this weekend. For those of you who are scrapbooking and have time to scrapbook this weekend, work on your December days, work on your virtual crop pages, finish off some gift albums or some shopping. Just, get really sunk into the spirit of the season. I'm looking at my notes here. What else do I need to tell you about? I think that's it. I think I covered it all, which is great. Don't forget about the shipping deadlines. Double check your shipping deadlines for your market, for Canada, Australia, or the US. And if you haven't had a chance to take a look at the last chance, the Who Let the Gnomes Out promo, make sure you do that, and you'll find all kinds of fun stuff to use for your December Days project, and of course for all of your other scrapbooking. Okay? Oh, you're very welcome, everybody. Thank you. So happy to be back with you this week. Again, thank you for all of your well wishes last week. And I'm going to be looking forward to seeing your virtual crop examples, and you feel free to share any of your December days pages as well. I'm going to be sharing my entire December days album, my little flip through, at the end of December when we have the call for completed albums. So I'll share mine then. But if you've got a page that you want to share, a fun idea, something that you really love about your December days album, feel free to share it in the virtual crop group. And again, my YouTube friends, make sure you head over to Facebook, even if it's just to join the virtual crop group, even if you don't join any other Facebook groups. It's worth it, I promise. So much fun, so much inspiration in there, and prizes too, right? We always have prizes at the virtual crop. So hope you enjoy it and have a great weekend. I will see you next week. That is December 13th. We actually only have one more week after that for the Fast and Fun December days. And then I think I'm taking that last week off. I won't be around. So between Christmas and New Year's, there probably won't be a Fast and Fun. But we've still got a couple of times together here before Christmas. So I'll be looking forward to sharing more ideas with you then. We'll see you next week. All right. Bye-bye for now, everybody.